Hello everyone, what's going on? This is Cake Jostello, and today I'm hanging out with my brother because it's his birthday, and we just saw the movie Samurai Cop 2.
Samurai Cop 2?
Now, what's your initial thoughts on Samurai Cop 2?
I don't understand the whole premise or anything really, but it was actually entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good watch. It's one of those movies it's a B movie that's aware that it's like a bad movie, so it makes jokes about that a lot
Yes.
throughout the movie. And the main reason we saw it is because it stars Tommy Wiseau, known for his movie The Room. He plays the main villain in this movie, and he's like his regular Tommy Wiseau self, as much as can be expected.
There's no more room for words, Joe.
You know, he plays Tommy Wiseau, not anybody else. But the main character in this movie is a samurai cop. And this movie tries to be like, it's a parody of 80s action cop movies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It has a lot of beat 'em up scenes and
ninjas
Right.
with it and stuff. And it's really difficult to kind of understand what the plot is because the movie doesn't really care about the plot that much.
it'll have
The
random scenes.
Yeah,
that
like it'll
don't
have
connect at
random
all.
scenes that don't connect, and like sometimes the scenes are just jokes. I know at one point in the beginning, there's just a random sex scene thrown in of those three girls
Yep.
just having sex, and like no one says anything. Like the whole scene is literally just them having sex. But
Not complaining, just the observation.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, another reason why it's really hard to follow the story though is because the actors just show how bad they actually are at acting the most when they're given the exposition.
Roger Takahara of the Ginza Biotech. He arrived today in LA for a summit.
That's the Master Katano's VP, as I'm sure you know. And Leonard Sakai, my partner, we're the co-owners of this club.
Joe Marshall is an evil creature. One of us will be chosen to fight and defeat him. If Marshall returns, our rivals will side with him like they did before.
But of course, like the exposition lines that they're given are obviously bad to begin with, so it's like you got the bad lines and the bad acting. So that's why it's hard to really pay attention because it just takes you away from like
Right.
what's going on.
There's so many different things that happen. Like you'll hear like Tommy Wiseau just like making strange noises and throwing around a sword, and that's the scene.
Yeah, exactly. And like okay, so let's go through a basic plot, like a synopsis of the movie. So
Starts off.
Joe is a cop.
Yep.
And then
He has
he's
a sidekick,
well, yeah, he has a a typical sidekick, like
lethal weapon.
kind of thing going on
Yeah.
there, typical sidekick. But he's in a park with his wife, and then this kid just knows he's a cop for
Right.
some reason.
He
He's not
doesn't-
wearing his like
No,
cop uniform or
he just
anything.
goes
He's
up to him knowing
yeah,
he's
but
a
he
cop.
says that he's a cop, and then he gets up to go do something that kid asked him to do, and then the kid shoots his
Yeah.
wife. So he goes into hiding for like 25 years or
Right.
something.
Could be a plot twist at the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a plot twist, don't worry. But so a lot of things happen, and then like
yeah.
we're just like thrust 25
Right.
years in the future or whatever, and then like we get this random stuff with that clan, like one of the gangs,
Which
like
one,
the
the
Katana
alright.
group is like, remember that boardroom scene
Yep.
where they're talking,
Mhm.
and then after that. Like there's this whole thing with like this gang war between like the Shinjukus, the Ginzas, I
Yeah.
think, and like the Katanas. It's just really hard to follow because it's
Right.
like who's doing what, why, and where. And it's like you don't really care that much. You're not really invested in the plot. You're just there for like all the funny, weird, random stuff that happens in this movie, which there's a lot of. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of.
I'm gonna kick your fucking ass if you don't shut up right now.
Hannah, get out here.
Are you my daddy?
The toilets! You speak when I tell you to.
This doesn't look so good. You should have never let her drink so much. You know how she gets.
Me? You were the one that was supposed to be guarding her.
I'm a woman! Ready? Let's show motherfucker! Go!
But and then like it shows a later scene with those people, and like they have like that weird orb thing.
Oh yeah.
And like there's those girls with wigs on for some reason.
Yeah.
And then like
they're on an airplane and they're
yeah.
Right, so there's
and then
there's at least like a couple scenes
something happens in between there, but it's like you don't really care that much. But then yeah, like the plane scene is like really weird because like they attack on the plane, and then
and somehow the scene ends and they're somewhere else, so they're not captured at all, even though there's nowhere really to go.
Yeah, like that one guy on the plane just shoots the orb and he says there are no balls allowed on the plane or whatever. And that's really funny.
Right.
And oh yeah, at some point during the beginning scenes with the gang war, they radicalize that one kid, and like it just comes back randomly later, but like only once.
Randomly.
Yeah,
like,
only once
like,
later.
Like
and like at the at the end of the movie, pretty much. And it's just so hard to describe this movie because of just I don't know what happens. Like okay, and then going from there, he meets that woman on the plane.
Yep.
He meets that woman on the plane, and then like she becomes the love interest automatically because they have a montage. You know, you see the montage, and it's like
and they
you know they're in love.
Right. But they're also able to watch each other on TV, like both of them, like, and it's.
Yeah, it's weird. Like at first you think only he can like see that television thing because it's like himself, like imagining himself.
Right.
But then later on she sees it, like way later she sees it too. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
TV and what was that guy's name? Like there's like a commercial in between that, and it's like this.
Oh, Yik Lung.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That came back later with that Ram, that whatever that guy Malta Ram or whatever. He's like, remember Malta Ram. It's like so weird.
Right.
Okay, so like the first thing that we see Tommy Wiseau really do in this movie is have a fit, which is reminiscent of one of the more famous scenes from The Room where he has a fit, and I mean that's a great scene. Yes. Everyone remembers that scene. Yep. It's just classic Tommy Wiseau, but it's just I think I kind of feel like they did that on purpose. You know, it's like remember this is Tommy Wiseau. Maybe I mean it was definitely it was weird that scene altogether too, because like when we see Tommy Wiseau for the first time and he's just like what's going on there? He's just like begging in that front of that woman or whatever, remember? And it's like that's all we see, and then like he has a fit. That's it. Like okay, thank you for introducing that character to us, and the movie just does that.
There's plenty of characters that are just like kind of introduced and like. It's just that's like it has a lot of like it's like The Room a lot.
Yeah.
Just like introduces.
Who are these characters?
Right. Exactly.
After like there's like a ninja fight in that bar. Remember the bar scene where they're fighting? He's like, he's like that guy says something weird and like he hangs up. He's like, what? Wrong number or something like that.
Wrong number.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong number.
Oh man, this movie, it just has its ups and downs. Like there's that like there's several scenes with Tommy Wiseau where it's like you just see him doing stuff that's not related to Joe really. It's just like him like one is just him training.
Right.
And then like another one is that guy committing harakiri. Like he's like stabbing himself.
Yep.
And then there are other scenes, like I'm sorry, like these aren't gonna be like all in order of what they actually happen in the movie, because it's just like really hard to put the pieces together because they could be anywhere.
Right.
Almost.
Just,
and
like
like
the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
There was really like no
it's really not really that coherent, just like this review.
No character didn't get really too in depth with the characters and just threw them in the situation.
Yeah, and like you're expected to just know everything. But I mean, it's also that kind of movie where it's like you're not really gonna get invested and like take these characters seriously anyway, so they're not gonna try to do that. But
there's times when you think like they don't take the characters that seriously. They're like
and then there was that time where Joe's training with that woman.
Right.
And then he kills her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? You killed me?" what else happened in this movie? And then okay, so later on,
Remember the song they played, like just a
yeah,
song
like
that
at the end of the movie
Right.
when they're fighting in the
Right.
last fight in the movie,
and it's like
they're-
how's it go? Like
the song is just like ridiculously not having to do
No.
with the situation at all. It's
No,
just like
no,
it's
no.
really cheery. Like every moment,
right.
like something. It's like every
Right.
moment I love to enjoy with you. It's like something
Yeah,
along those
it is,
lines.
yeah.
It's like
It's hilarious.
ridiculous. But then he ends up fighting Tommy Wiseau,
Yep.
and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, Tommy Wiseau is Tommy Wiseau.
Right.
You know,
and
it's
they
like
made
exactly
it
what we
into
see.
a
Yeah.
really dramatic scene, which is cool. Like it was pretty awesome. Like they do a slow motion, even though it's
Yeah,
them
like they do
doing
a slow motion,
slow
but it's
motion.
just them acting in slow motion.
Right.
And what was that scene in the middle of the movie? Remember when those girls were getting naked, but like they were with Joe, and he was like looking at himself as a samurai.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was like having that weird like
Yeah.
fever dream or
Right.
something. It's like
Yeah.
just like weird things happen in this
Right.
movie, and like
they're fighting. They're like two naked girls are having like a sword fight.
yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, we're not gonna complain, but it's like it's something that happens in this movie. So this
It's probably
movie's
the best
full of
scene
those.
in the movie, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like it's pretty awesome.
And then it just ends with like that woman that tricks that falls into him, ends up tricking him,
Yeah.
and she ends up saying that she was Tommy Wiseau's sister
Yes.
at
It's
the end, but they also kiss,
Right. So
which is weird. It's
right.
like, what? So was she lying, or are they just incestuous?
Right, because there was a scene where she was on the phone talking to someone, and it sounded like Wiseau maybe, like she was like I don't know, like she was it was someone on the side and stuff, you know, when she was in Joe's bed and stuff. There's a scene where she was on the phone talking to someone of interest. So.
Yeah. And another twist in the movie was that that Tommy Wiseau was the kid who shot
Right.
the
yeah,
wife,
yeah.
but it makes no sense because
Right.
like
So
Joe
bas-
was like like as old as pretty much as he looks now 25 years ago, but then the kid who shot him looks pretty much as old as, if not older than him now.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
So that's basically, you could watch the first minute of the movie and the last minute, and you would get a general idea of what the whole movie's about. Like there's just there's amazing scenes in between, but like basically it all points down to like the ending and the beginning and yeah, plot twist.
Yeah, like this movie is definitely a movie I'd recommend for people who like to watch bad movies,
Right.
and it's definitely trying purposefully to cater to that audience.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely why Tommy Wiseau is in this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
'cause,
I mean, even his first scene, it just like it was. I remember it was kind of ridiculous and stuff, but it was awesome. Like it took a while for him to be introduced, but like it just felt appropriate. Like the movie was getting to the point where it was getting so ridiculous, where it like he just was like he just added to it.
yeah, like he definitely puts that Tommy Wiseau,
Right.
you know, little. It's definitely like the cherry on top of this
Right,
movie for
right.
sure.
I hope The Room is like almost like a genre of these type of movies, because
Yeah, like Tommy Wiseau,
It's
like
brilliant
we
in
need
that way.
an own, like Tommy Wiseau needs his own subgenre of films,
yeah.
and this is definitely a contender for being one of the best. You know, this is a great Tommy Wiseau film right here.
Right.
I definitely recommend this movie for people who like Tommy Wiseau, of course. Like we just said that.
Yeah.
But
It has some amazing like if you can remember this movie by the end of the movie, like congrats to you, because like there's just so much randomness you have to just all take in, but it just happens all at once and it's thrown at you. It's just like definitely watch it. It's a great movie.
yeah, it's
in
definitely
a bad way.
yeah, it's definitely a good bad movie, and yeah, with thumbs up, recommend
Yeah.
for everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah, check out Samurai Cop 2 if you like bad movies. Which it's not a bad thing. I want to say that to the people on YouTube right now that take care of copyright. We're not saying that this movie's terrible. We're saying go watch this movie, so that's a
Right.
good thing.
Yep. Total non-sarcasm, just
Yeah, just check out this movie, guys.
honest.
What?
There is something I have to tell you, Samurai.
I'm listening.
My initiation to join the Jinchuku. I have to kill a girl, a beautiful girl. It was so easy. She was so beautiful, most beautiful girl I ever saw. I still see her in my dreams, Joe. Beautiful, long hair, stained in red blood. Red blood, Joe. Red!